Obviously it's going to show the dust. Oh man, does that feel nice to walk on though?
Hello and welcome to, Carlin's Worlds. Yeah, that should work. I'm a wanderer, a tinkerer, sometimes a nomad, a military veteran. I do things differently. There will be tinkering. I have a motorcycle, a truck, and a school bus. I live off-grid, so there will be some solar, batteries, inverters, and maybe even some wind. It blows. And that's all I can fit into about 30 seconds. Oh, and please, if you like any of this, it would be really awesome if you could subscribe and click that notify bell. Drop a comment if you have any questions or ideas. Share, like, comment, subscribe, notify. Oh, and Patreon if you're really an awesome kind of person. Cool. On with the show already.
This seems like a perfect project for a Sunday. It's getting cold. I've had temperatures as low as 20, 21 here in the mornings inside the bus. And I can say that because I've got a little digital thermometer right up here. So, yeah, you wake up in the morning, it's like, yeah, it's cold. So, something I had from earlier, I bought a few of these Harbor Freight floor mats. And I threw a couple of them down just to see, and they do definitely make a difference. I mean, if you're sitting there with no shoes on, you can feel that the floor is less cold where the mat is. I'm going to cover the floor, and I think I'm going to go up and do the firewall. This is the front of the bus. This is where the driver's seat is. Normally there would be a steering wheel there. I took the steering column out, and I'm building my little computer workstation up here in the front. I'm running a propane heater and my little portable buddy heater, which is amazing in here. It definitely makes a difference. The more insulation I can do, the better that'll work. Alright, if you've never seen these are at Harbor Freight. They come in a 4-pack, and they've got a jigsaw pattern on the side, which you can see in that one down there. And they all interlink together. And then if you're at the edge of the side, there's, like for instance this one down here, they've got a finish edge that interlocks with the open jigsaw pattern, so it makes a nice flat edge. These were about $9 a pack, and it covers 17 square feet according to the package. Everything I do requires first moving everything out of the way, and then doing the job, and then turning around and probably putting everything right back where it was. I mentioned this before, some of these have edges. You know, the whole kit comes with enough edge pieces to go all the way around. So if you put them on, then you can go right up to a flat line. For right now, this is just get it done. Because that's really, it's exactly the right size to cover that transmission hump, so why not just go with that? There's a lot of holes left over from, you know, somebody put something in, didn't put the last of the bolts in, that kind of thing. So, and I can see daylight through all of them. I wonder how small I can cut these. You know, so if I just put a little blob of, this is Gorilla Tape. It's pretty sticky. Generally works really well. I have noticed in the heat of the summer here in Texas, this stuff will let go. It melts. The stickiness, it gets gooey. But it's definitely better than duct tape. So, you know, that's kind of the gold standard right there. Gorilla Tape is kind of expensive, but in this kind of a situation, I figure this is easier than... I looked at grabbing my caulking gun and shooting little blobs of, I don't know, silicone over the holes. Then I'd want to wait for that to dry so I didn't get stuck to it. So this is quicker and easier and kind of blends in. You know, so a $10 roll of tape should go quite a ways here. Now I've been thinking about, should I glue this down or should I not? If I don't glue it down, it's going to get knocked and try to squirm around when I walk over it. If I do glue it down, it's a pain to get it up again. I think a compromise though, this stuff will kind of stick a little bit. I'm going to use this like an adhesive. I'll just do a couple little lines. I think if it stays more or less where I want it, that's good enough. I just don't want to be kicking it all the time when I'm coming in. So, since these are supposed to go together, I just sketch a quick line in here underneath. Okay, not ideal, but it did leave a mark. I'm going to cut it back from the edge, and just to be consistent, I'll use this straight edge. Cut's really easy, so I'll just put a little blob of glue in the corner to kind of hold this down. So I left myself a nice clean edge here. That'll keep me from tripping over it, hopefully. And I think I'm going to stop where this one stops, so that's a good place to be. For up against the firewall, what I'm hoping I can do is just lay this stuff right up against, and it'll be, I'm looking at better than nothing kind of a thing. Oh, look at that. That'll just sit there. How about that? Okay. So I just kind of stick it there, tuck it into whatever's there. Yeah, that'll work. I might just zip tie that up and call it good. Alright, zip ties and duct tape. That's pretty much everything I need for my life out here. So, I'm thinking, alright, we'll just hold that there. I don't need access to any of this. This is the original bus wiring. I'm not using any of that. Oh yeah. That shows up nice. Oh, also I think scissors will probably cut this just as easily. Yep. This is super easy to work with. That is the Geek. Trim your tails off because it bugs me. Earlier I took out the steering column, so you can see where the OSB is down there. I don't think I'll ever drive this bus again, but I did save all the pieces, and since I took it apart, I could put it back together. It might even work. Not holding my breath, but I'm looking at this more as a thing to live in, so I'm not planning to drive it. Okay? That piece of the seat is, I'm just going to cut a slot on both of those, and then that'll drop down flat. Oh, this is much nicer to lay down on. Cut a little slot so it lays down nice and flat over that. That's good enough. And that puts me, basically that piece is where my feet are going to sit most of the time. Having my foot on a seam, which would tend to kick it. Dynaflex 230. This is exactly not what it's made for, I'm sure. Don't care. Just lift it up a little bit. Put a blob in the middle. And over time that'll set up. That'll be fine. Black shows up pretty good. These are just basic scissors. $1 at Walmart or wherever. And I'm shooting it kind of into the edge first so that it can fill that gap. There we go, it's coming out like shaving cream now. But not too bad. Did a reasonably good job on my trimming, not perfect. Now I'm going to just squish this in. Oh, one more thing. Complete coincidence I ended up with two DAP products at the same time here. I'm hoping if I ever want to pull this out, this doesn't fight me too much. You know, I'm not... If I glue it and I try to take it out and it shreds the plastic, or shreds this foam, not the end of the world kind of thing. Alright, so I'm just going to stick it in there. flexibility of this stuff is going to make it really nice to work with. Yeah, I'm pretty close. Not perfect. I'll just put this zipper piece back on again. That'll get me a little closer to the edge. Good enough. Could have gone a little longer on that edge, about an inch off. I got a plan for that. Now I'm looking at this air box right here. That's for a vent. I think if I just completely cover that over, I'd be better off. Who does the Pink Panther? Corning? Yeah, Owens Corning, Pink Panther brand. They got snap lines. So here, 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 and here, in my broken end, you can just snap it and break it off. So 16 inches and then 24 feet, 32, and then 48. So this is 4x8 sheets. So if I wanted a 24-inch piece, I could snap it on the line, and you don't even have to cut it. It's kind of slick. Now, since that's a 32-inch line, why don't we use that? So we'll go to there, and then I'll go up 18 inches, and I'll make another line. This is an inch thick. It's R5 insulation, which, you know, where I'm from in Canada, R5 would be pretty pathetic when you're dealing with 60 below. Here, not too bad. That'll work, huh? That's this line, which they've given us. How about that? Reasonably straight, not a bad break. This is the one I did, so I could trim this a little bit if I wanted to. Yeah, it works out well enough. I've seen somewhere that you can glue this up using the expanding foam insulation as a glue. So let's just try that and see how it works. Okay, as an experiment, because I haven't tested this, first we're going to set it in there, make sure it's not completely boogered up. I do see one thing I want to change. There's a control arm here for what used to be the heater. Left the knife outside. I'm going to cut and score a piece off of this, like that. And then I think I can put that piece right back in, and then I'm going to foam over it. So we'll come back. No idea if this is going to work. Half the fun. See if that'll hold it in place. I've already moved most of the stuff onto the bed. It's the only flat space available, right? I could move everything outside, but then I gotta bring it back in, so. Sun visor was in my way, so I took it down, and the next day, sun shines right in my eyes. This would be handy if the offcut from the other piece would fit. I'm gonna go with that. That's close enough. Little snip snip. Trying to strike a balance here. I don't want to put down too much in case I ever want to pull this up again. but I also don't want it moving around on me too much. That's the flasher for the stoplights on the top. Okay, so this is all separate. That's nice. Most of it. One of the places I had holes to bring wires through. Never fails. You drill a hole and you realize you're right into a cross piece, so you have to drill another hole. Every seat had 4 holes all the way down the bus. I'm like, oh, I don't want to just do a hack, I want it to be nice, right? So instead of doing something, I do nothing for years, you know. So at some point you just got to get over yourself and just do something, because odds are this will be here long after I'm gone. You know, this tape will keep the bug from crawling through the hole in the floor. Time to find more. Oh yeah. I can't get back. I've seen a lot of bus conversions and they take 2x4s or 2x2s or whatever, put a strip of wood, put your insulation in between it, another strip of wood, and then you can staple through your outer face, you know, beadboard or whatever you end up using, into the wood. So you'd screw the wood to the bus, and then, you know, you could staple or brad or whatever to that. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to leave a gap on the side that my styrofoam can go right down to. So, and then I'll fill it later. So I think what I'll do, that's a 2-inch gap, so we'll just go with that. Oh. That works. That's even better. I thought I was going to hit the shelf. There. Perfect. Use this one to mark. Yeah, that looks about right. Use the offcut to mark the other one. Good enough. I doubt this will be my crowning achievement. Just saying. Good. I'm going to put the foam below this piece. This piece is what the outer side of the seats sit on. So when they made the seats, on the aisle side of the seat, over here, or on this side, has legs that go down and bolt to the floor. And on that side, they'd have this piece of angle iron that goes all the way down the length of the bus. And the seats just rest on it and have 2 more bolts going down. Less legs. That made it a lot simpler. The fun thing about this stuff weighs literally just about nothing. It is super light. Easy to work with. Yeah, there's a doubler right here. I'm literally 1/8 of an inch off, or less. I'll probably run a conduit across here for plug-ins, just down below the window level. So then I'd need a strip of wood here that I can attach whatever my inner wall ends up being. Then I can lay a strip of trim down here and drill it down to the floor. Then I take these 3 pieces that are my offcuts. Oops, sorry, kick the tripod. If I found anything from doing this, it's better to leave yourself a little bit of a gap than to try to get it too close. So carpet tape might be a good option for this. You know, something that you could peel and stick it. And then, yeah, these I'm going to leave loose so that I can redo them. That's within, yeah, getting out of bed, I'll just step onto here. That'll be fine. And then next payday, I'll get some carpet runners that I can lay down, which will take a lot of the wear off of these, you know, so I don't wear the rubber out. Now, these are made to be in your shop, but I suspect they also made them cheap enough that you could replace them when they wear out. Remarkably easy. Cool. It's a silly thing, but I'm kind of stoked. Obviously, it's going to show the dust. Oh man, does that feel nice to walk on though? I am probably going to build some kind of a facade across here. I just haven't worked through that yet. But for now, I'm going to say this is done.
Well, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, that should work. Cool. I do things differently. Oh, and please, if you like any of this, it would be really awesome if you could subscribe and click that notify bell. Drop a comment if you have any questions or ideas. Share, like, comment, subscribe, notify. Oh, and Patreon if you're really an awesome kind of person. Thank you so much for watching.